What do you do when you achieve your childhood dream at a very young age? That's the question and the struggle that I have been struggling with for the past couple of years. So, to give some context of the situation, my dream as a little kid was to join the military, and specifically the Marine Corps. Ever since I was young, I always had an affinity and a liking for anything to do with the military, and specifically the Marine Corps. I would play war games, I would pretend, fight, be in combat situations, I would do all those things. I had all the camouflage. I used to build forts. I used to do all these different things, and it just culminated in this deep inside feeling that I wanted to join the military and serve my country, and specifically do one of the hardest branches that you can join, which is the Marine Corps. So that was my childhood dream, and I achieved that dream fairly quickly. Straight out of high school, my parents, they signed me away when I was 17 years old. They signed the dotted lines and signed me away to the Marine Corps. And as soon as I left high school, I went to boot camp. And it was one of the proudest moments of my life, going through that and earning the Eagle Globe of Anchor, and knowing that I'm part of the proud Marines, and I can carry that title the rest of my life. It was one of my proudest moments, for sure. But reality kind of hit in, and I quickly realized that it wasn't all as to what I thought it was going to be. I went in thinking I was going to be there for my whole entire life. I was going to go all the way up the ranks and serve for my entire life. That was my thought process. But what you think, what you plan, doesn't always go to plan. I quickly realized that that's not at all what I wanted to do. And I didn't want to be tied down to the government, to a place, or be told what to do for the rest of my life. I wanted to do the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to be free of location, time freedom, my time back. And I just started realizing all these things. And I just started realizing that it wasn't for me. And so I made the decision that I had to leave. I do want to backtrack a little bit, because the Marine Corps honestly shaped me into who I am today. It provided values that it takes people lifetimes to learn. You learn things that you wouldn't normally learn if you went the normal system, went to school route. You gain experience and life experiences that no other person will really ever get in their life. And you start building relationships and building a brotherhood with people you never thought you'd meet or be friends with or be boys with. And so that whole time in the Marine Corps was great, and I'm sure I'll expand on that in other videos, but the main point of this is saying that I don't regret joining at all. It was one of the best decisions I could have ever made, and younger version of me would be super proud that I achieved my dream. Like, even talking about it and saying I achieved my dream is kind of crazy. Not a lot of people can say, they've achieved their childhood dream. It's a really weird concept. It's something like I said, it's something that I have been struggling with, because it's a weird concept to say that you've achieved your childhood dream. So what's next, right? That's the question, is what's next? And so that question of what's next, it really was kind of a delayed reaction, to be honest, because the months leading to me getting out, I really had a sense that real estate is something I wanted to do, because the money was there. There was a lot of good money to be made, and I wanted to get into real estate, which I still do want to get into real estate, but that really wasn't my next. What I'm realizing now is that it's really not my next dream, my next calling. I feel it's not the right path for me as of right now. Could that change? I don't know. I'm still figuring things out, but getting out, I had this clear sense of direction, like, hey, I'm going to get into real estate and go that route. But it didn't hit me till after realizing in the Marine Corps, you have such an identity. And when you leave that, you kind of are left to ask the question, what's my identity now? What am I in now? Who am I now? And you kind of lose a sense of direction. You kind of go through this wishy-washy period of transitioning back into civilian life and back into it's a weird limbo. It's a weird limbo for sure, but it's kind of a exciting time at the same time. It's exciting because you're trying new things, you're doing different ventures, you're learning new skills, you're discovering more about yourself, you're starting to find what your true identity is. And for me, at least, what I've been finding out real quick is that ultimately your identity is rooted in your faith in Jesus Christ. And so that has been the guiding principle over these past few years, is developing my relationship with God and ultimately seeking Him first in all things and submitting to His will. And when I say submitting to His will, I'm not saying like, oh, God, whatever you want, like, direct me. Obviously, He doesn't just straight tell you all the time. You kind of have to figure it out, but it's walking by faith. And so that's been the biggest thing for me these past couple of years, is walking by faith and submitting to God and seeking Him first in everything. And I believe God puts us in different places for reasons, and He makes us go through seasons. And that's another big lesson that I've learned through this process of achieving your dream early, is you do go through seasons in life. There's seasons where you're reaping a great harvest. There's seasons where you're sowing. There's seasons where it's dead. There's seasons where you feel like the world is crazy. But He uses the seasons for a reason, to develop you and grow you and to develop your character. And so the current season I'm in right now, it's a big building season and rebuilding season. It's a season of forging a new direction, finding a new purpose, a new dream that He's calling me to achieve. And it's one of those exciting times where you just have to trust the process, learn to listen to God, and use your discernment Use your discernment. And that's why I always say now is to seek God first in everything. Pray in everything. Give thanks and be grateful for everything, every experience that you have, that I have. Because that's where you start to discover your purpose and your calling that God has for your life at the end of the day. So if you're watching this though, and maybe you're chasing a dream right now, go for it. Go all in on your dream. Achieve your dreams, because they're possible. I'm an example of somebody completing their childhood dream. Go all in on it, but at the same time, don't tie all your worth to that dream. Know that there's always more, and there's always another direction to go to. Know that there's God has a plan for your life as well. And so if achieving your dream, and if you hit that dream and you don't know what to do next, it's time to move on to the next one and trust God and submit to His will, and He'll reveal it to you slowly but surely. It's a daily process, a daily struggle, but you'll find what you're meant to do. In closing, go out there, achieve your dreams, live the life that God is calling you to live. The dreams are just chapters. It's not the whole entire story. They just lead up to the the big culmination of life in itself. So it's okay to answer the next calling that God has for your life. So if you made it to the end of the video and you got some value out of it, please comment, like, subscribe, and I hope you have an amazing freaking day and go crush your dreams.